What's up, Giants fans, Hub watchers, YouTube subscribers, Twitter and Instagram followers? It is Kush back at again with another episode of the Just Chillin podcast call-in show. How y'all doing? Welcome in to everybody. I hope everybody's doing fine. We'll be rolling with the mic. Well, I mean, without the camera for tonight. I'll see. I'll probably do this for a couple nights coming, just because I don't look the best right now. But shout out to everybody in here. See Max Webster, who's also waiting in the wings. Vance Billow, Jaden Dawkins, Zach. Visit Joseph Balby, Football Talk with Benny. Go over there, check his channel out. Joe Yada, who's also in the queue waiting. Logan's Gaming Lounge. Sunday, what's up, Sunday? How you doing? And I think I might have got everybody. Dylan Kraut, even Spitzbergs, and Justin Hubner. Also Toast, somebody I haven't seen her in a while. Shout out to all y'all for tuning in. I also got Mike in the wings waiting, if you remember. The link is already up on community notes. With that being said, I'm just going to kick it right off. I'm going to bring in the first member who's waiting in. It is Max Webster, who, by the way, got his show started today on over at his channel, Mic'd Up with Max Webster, new podcast. Go over there and check him out. But Max, what's up, man? How you doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, bro. So first of all, before we get into anything football related, go ahead and tell us about your podcast.
Yeah, so the first episode launched today. It was a bit shorter of an episode. To everybody who stopped by for that launch, I appreciate you coming by and showing some support. Basically, the podcast, I'm going to be pulling all types of content creators. We're going to start with Giants content creators, but I'm going to be talking to all my listeners, my viewers, and getting names to bring on as well. We're just going to bring on content creators and have them talk about themselves. I feel like that's something missing from the community. And I feel like content creators making this content can even lose themselves sometimes, just always talking about the things that their channel is about. So I think it'll be good for the community to get to know the people that they watch, and good for the content creators to get a little bit of a break from talking about the same thing all the time.
So y'all heard it, and you guys see the logo as well. That was pretty good looking logo there. But Max, moving on into kind of I guess the football things. What were you thinking about talking about tonight in terms of Giants related? We kind of mentioned it backstage. Not much news, but I'm interested to see what you got in mind.
Yeah, so I mean, I saw Tana's video a little bit earlier, just talking about the Giants. He brought up the whole Leonard Williams situation and what he thinks we should do there. He mentioned the franchise tag, and I don't know if you know, Hub, or if anybody else in this chat knows, but we tagged him as a defensive tackle last year. And if we tag him as a defensive tackle again, it's going to go up to 120% of this year's rate, which is still like
When you mean by
three-quarters of
this year's rate, you're talking about what the new rates for 2021 is, because they all
right.
got
So
down.
the first year tag is like 13 point something million projected for the defensive tackle. If we tag him as a defensive tackle again, then it's going to be 120% of that, making it like 16.95 or 17 million or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But what I don't know is if we tag him as a defensive end, being a different position, does that count as a second-year tag, or do we get the first-year number because it's at a different position? Because if that's the case, we could just tag him as a D end and pay like the 14.7 mil, which is still $2 million less than he made last year.
Yeah, because this year, like all the positions, the tags on them are cut down so much. And you mentioned defensive end. It's like usually it's around, I want to say 18, 19 mil.
Right.
I could bring it up right now because I remember pulling this up on a CBS Sports article last week, but I want to say, like you said, it's like around 15 mil-ish. And if that's the case, and if it would count as a first-year tag for defensive end, which we're getting into super technicalities, I would 100% do that instead of tagging him again as a defensive tackle, which is crazy to think about, but it's just the cap situation that we're in right now.
Yeah, I just don't know how that works, and I didn't know if you know or if anybody else in the chat would know and can verify if we tag him at the defensive end position, because last year was the defensive tackle, does it count as a first-year tag, or do we still get hit with that second-year tag even though it's a different position technically?
I would have no idea. I'm trying to find. I can't pull up the CBS article right now. For some reason, it's not popping up right now. But if anybody in the chat knows, let me know and let Max know as well. And by the way, I want to say shout out to all you guys. Thank you guys for all the continued support. You guys have been great. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing fine. For anybody that's asking, it's all good. Thank you all for the support.
Yeah, for sure. I see Wolves come in there and taking after your Discord name, going, pay that man Leo.
Yeah, I changed it to pay Leo after I was in his Instagram post, but nobody in the chat, it seems like, seems to have any idea on how that would work. You know
Okay.
what? Knowing the NFL, I would think it's a too good to be true scenario. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But other than that, I mean, leading in, I mean, this is Super Bowl week, right? So I figured we'd talk about that a little bit. If you're down, get into it, and maybe give some slight predictions. I'm planning on taking the non-popular route here, and I'm gonna
Well,
go.
be careful because like both options are very, very popular right now from what I've seen online.
I don't know. I've seen about 90% of the people going for the Chiefs right now, and I could totally see the Chiefs coming out. Their offense is very dominant, but Tom Brady Tom Brady in the playoffs and in the Super Bowl. There's been what 3 times that he's lost in the Super Bowl, twice to the New York Giants, as we're well aware of, and once to the Philadelphia Eagles. Right now, he has the best offensive weapons he's ever had, in my opinion, if you account for all of them inclusively. But
So you're really saying it's better than what he had in 2008 or 2007, I should say?
as an all-inclusive weapon, maybe. I mean, when you factor in Mike Evans, Antonio Brown, Chris Godwin when he's healthy and able to, catch the ball and not drop it 3 times in a game. And then their third string running back is LaShawn McCoy right now. That's their third string running back.
It's a very old LaShawn McCoy.
Right, but I mean, their other 2 have kind of been doing well this year.
I mean, let's not pretend like this 2007 team was, like chop liver. They got obviously Randy Moss, one of the greatest to ever do it. He was only like 30 that year. Wes Welker, he was in his prime. Ben Watson in his prime. Like they had dudes out there. Now running back, of course, not exactly anybody impressive with Kevin Falk, but I mean he did his job.
Right. And I'm not discrediting any team that he's had prior. I just think he has the most complete offensive team around him right now, and this defense is clearly no slouch when all their starters are playing. But I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now. Give me a prediction of 27-24. And this might be of a bit of a hot topic and controversial, but I do feel like when Tom Brady gets in the postseason, that the referees tend to be on his side a little bit. And so I think that might play a small factor in the outcome of this game.
I mean, you're not completely wrong. I mean, there's a reason that I say, even though it's getting harder and harder to like say Brady isn't the GOAT, the one thing I'll always come back to is that those first 3 rings, for example, there were so many controversies involved with them. And then every single time since, it seems like every time he's in the postseason, there's a controversy. But to get to my prediction for Super Bowl 55, I am rolling with the Chiefs, and not just because I want Brady to not get 7 rings, but because I do think that this Chiefs team was legitimately the best in the NFL, albeit it was the regular season. They went basically 14-1 when they had all their stars out there. Of course, their second loss came when they rested guys. I don't see a way that this Buccaneers defense, which has been really good, by the way, credit to the Buccaneers defense, I don't see a way how they hold down this Chiefs offense, man. And you know what? Let me pull up the Chiefs regular season schedule. Let me see if they played any like really, really good offense or anything. But let me hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, they actually, I think, played Tampa Bay. What was it, like week 14 or something, maybe? But definitely
they did,
Chiefs offense is explosive. And I'm not saying the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense is going to win this game by any means. What I think is Tom Brady in the postseason is dangerous. The referees are going to be a little bit on his side because how big of a story is it going to be with Tom Brady in his 10th Super Bowl appearance gets a 7th ring away from Bill Belichick? That is the story of this year, starting back to week 1, is the Belichick-Brady separation, right? And so if Brady can go to Tampa Bay and get a Super Bowl this year, that's the biggest story of this entire offseason, if you ask me.
It was indeed the biggest story of the offseason. And to recap the week 14 game, it was 27-24 in favor of the Chiefs. And the Chiefs defense put in some work. They got 2 ints on Brady and only held Ronald Jones to 66 yards and Leonard Fournette to just 10. So the Chiefs offense, I said the Buccaneers was underrated. So was the Chiefs. The Chiefs offense definitely doesn't get as much recognition as it probably should. Because,
Right.
They are holding down teams. Like you look at the Bills, they are holding down offenses and then allowing their own offense to score. I'm going to get your quick last thought on that before I bring in Joe Yaddo, the next member.
Yeah, so I guess I kind of expect minimum, no matter what the score turns out to be, if the Chiefs win, if the Buccaneers win, I think in the first quarter we'll see kind of what we saw in that Chiefs Bills game. We'll see a lot of Tampa Bay in the first quarter, and they'll put up some points. It's just kind of the Chiefs' demeanor at this point to fall behind in the beginning of the playoffs, in the beginning of their games, and then they just make this massive comeback. It's kind of what they've done the last couple of years.
Literally, like the entire playoff run last year.
Yeah, and so I think that's kind of become their playoff identity. It's going to be all about Steve Spagnuolo, our man over there in Kansas City. Has Tom Brady learned from the last two times he's played the defense of Steve Spagnuolo in the Super Bowl? Or can Steve Spagnuolo come up with new ways to try to beat Tom Brady in his 10th Super Bowl appearance?
That's what it's going to be. And of course, the battle of the offenses. But thank you, Max, for tuning in, guys. Check out Mic'd Up with Max Webster. Once again, thank you, bro. And I'm going to switch you out now for Joe Yada. What's up, Joel? How you doing, man? The beard is flowing.
Yes, thank you. It's looking pretty good now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's gotten a lot fuller.
Oh goodness. Man, I tell you what, I'm kind of frustrated a little bit. I said a couple weeks ago that the Giants should trade back and get assets, and we could still get a quality player. Now everybody blew up on me. Well, PTA, you guys had that draft on stream, and PTA traded back and still got a quality player with really good picks. Everybody got excited about it. Everybody was enthusiastic about it. And then that got me thinking, the draft class, what position is the deepest?
Oh, is this rhetorical or are you actually asking me?
I'm asking you.
For me, it's probably corner, but it's corner or wide receiver.
Okay, wide receiver, cornerback is the deepest position in this draft. Why are we so focused on a wide receiver at 11 when Terry McLaurin was a third-round draft pick? Can anybody tell me the 17 receivers that were drafted ahead of Tyreek Hill? I know we need a number one receiver, but we're in a prime position where we could look at the positions that aren't deep because we still have a lot of needs. If we get a wide receiver at 11, I flash back to Odell. We had a playmaker. We had a quarterback. Eli was still a good quarterback, but we had no line.
And we also had no defense until 2016.
All right, but our defensive line might be changing. We're losing two quality stud players on the defensive line this year. That's got to be made up somewhere.
So you're assuming we lose both Tomlinson and Leo?
How do we know with the cap situation that we can keep both of them as to what Judge wants to do?
You bring up a great point there. How do we know? We also don't know, right? It's the chance. It's the game of risk.
Right now, they're not signed. We have to assume they're not going to be signed. Then when they are signed, we're ecstatic. We want to keep them. They are quality players that helped our defensive secondary by getting after the quarterback. They stopped the run. That's what these guys did. And then everybody was saying, we need an edge rusher. Well, yeah, we do need an edge rusher. But if we're losing those two guys, and even if we go into free agency hub, we're still going to pay somebody $10, $12, $14 million to replace Dalvin and replace Leo. But we're only going to get one. If we could keep one or the other, pick one up in the draft in the first round, there's a couple of, I know everybody doesn't like him, but that one kid from Miami, Roche.
Gregory Rousseau?
No, Roche. Oh, he was an impressive
Oh, Quincy. Oh, did I not tell you guys about him a couple weeks ago? I said in the mid rounds, look out for Quincy Roche, and he might be rising up from that now.
Oh yeah, he's definitely rising up. Did you see him? He's got the fast hands. He's got good speed, burst. He bends that edge.
I know, man. That's why early on in the draft process, when I was looking and actually concentrating on edge rushers, and I looked at Greg Rousseau, I ended up looking at Quincy Roche, and I really thought, and I still do wholeheartedly believe he's more of like a fourth round type of guy, maybe third round at like the very best. But just because of his Senior Bowl performance and the lack of the combine, he's probably going to go in like second or third.
Exactly. But we can get a quality receiver in the second, third, or fourth round with as deep as this class.
No, Joel, I disagree when you said third or fourth. The latest I would go is second, because you're always playing. You would always be playing that game of, you bring up a good point. You can find number ones later on, but it's that game of, there's a reason it's not consistently found later on, right? How can you tell? That's why I'm like, the latest I'm willing to go to try and get a number one if we don't get anybody in free agency would be the second round.
Oh, Hob, I with so many needs. I mean, we only have Barkley under contract. I mean, yeah, I understand our wide receiving core is bad, but outside of Thomas and Gates, who's our starting other three linemen? Fleming's gone. That was a 1-year contract.
Tell me this, Joe. Of all the needs we have, and I agree with you, we have a lot, but we only have 6 picks, which is why my New York Giants mock draft was taken with a kind of mixed results. I mean, mixed reception. Some people liked it because I tried to diversify our needs. Some people didn't like it because they're like, I didn't attack the weapons enough. But tell me, if you don't go wide receiver in the first, and we lose both Leo and Dalvin, who, like, what position would you try and attack in the first?
I'm still going to look at the defensive line, and I'm still going to look at the offensive line, because those are needs. If Daniel Jones is getting hammered all the friggin' time and fumbling the ball, everyone's going to say it's his fault.
Yeah, which position on the offense? I'm asking a specific position. You got to tell me something
Probably
specific.
interior.
So you're looking for a guard or a center in the first?
Yeah. Even though we got that one kid.
Even though centers are going to be available in the third and fourth. I'm talking starting centers will be available in the third and fourth. Same with guards. The thing is, this draft, the tackles, as usual, would be going higher than the guards and centers.
You're right. You're right. See, I haven't really done a ton of draft, but everyone seems to have faith in Pert. I mean, Pert and Thomas, Soldier's caught. Do we have another tackle that is starting quality on the team?
Nope, that's why I went with a tackle in my mock draft.
Right.
But it's also why I went with a tackle later on, because you can't just, I get what you're saying, but you can't just immediately give up on Pert, which is why I hope to God we somehow find a way to retain Cam Fleming.
Well, you know what? I don't know, because tackle's not that deep in this draft.
Tackle's pretty, I'd say it's top heavy, and then you got like gems in the later rounds. It's top heavy. There's not really mid-round talent, so to speak, from what I've seen. But there's talent at the top, good talent, and there's like really gems available at the bottom. By the way, shout out to Kid Blue in the chat.
But that's where I'm saying, though, is I'm going to look at both defense and offensive line. Now, chances are, if Leo and Dalvin are gone, I'm going to look defensive side of the ball at the best player available at the time. Now, if he's projected to drop down, I'm going to try to trade down. I think Arizona, I think the Raiders.
You didn't name the player that you're talking about.
Well, Arizona, I think they're going to trade down, because if it's Arizona, I could see Arizona wanting to jump against San Francisco and grab Pitts. Because if they get a tight end over there to go with the wide receiver for the Texans, what's his name? I can't remember it.
Hopkins?
Yeah, Hopkins. So you got Hopkins, Pitts, because Fitzgerald is retiring, right?
It does indeed look like that.
Yeah, so I could see them wanting to jump up. The Raiders, maybe a quarterback, maybe a cornerback. One of them two. Maybe they see somebody. Yeah.
Did you get to check out the first round mock I put out today?
Yes, I did. I caught a little bit of it. I could blow that mock. I could blow up everybody's mock draft.
I mean, yeah, because everybody's mock draft right now is all speculation.
If I'm the New York Jets, I'm going to blow up the draft.
If you had to what?
If I'm the New York Jets,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make a phone call. First thing I'm going to do, because I got draft capital. The New Orleans Saints are in trouble. I'm going to grab a couple of linemen from them for a 4th, a 5th, or a 6th round pick. They got quality stud offensive linemen over there, and that's going to allow the Saints to get under the cap. And then if I'm at pick 2, I'd take Chase.
At second over, that's crazy. See, Joe,
Why?
this is where
Why?
you lose me. We talked so much about positional value and not taking wide receivers high, and here you are taking a wide receiver in the second pick of the draft.
It's only crazy if it doesn't work.
I could say the same thing back to you with my ideas.
You're absolutely right. But if the Jets take Jamar Chase, that's going to blow up the whole draft.
You're completely right, it would, because that would be has a wide receiver ever gone second overall?
Well, remember there was a time when Moss was supposed to be picked high, Terrell Owens was supposed to be picked high. Do you really think that Robert Saleh is going to pass up a quality stud wide receiver if they keep Darnold?
Yeah, I do, because like you said, the wide receiver depth is really deep.
It is, but you know what? If he wants to put a stud on that line with Darnold to see if he's the quarterback this year, because they got good draft capital next year. And they can always get a quarterback and get rid of Darnold next year if they don't.
And by the way, Edward Chan just corrected me. Calvin Johnson went second overall in 2007 draft. So there's one person. That is definitely a Hall
Keyshawn
of Famer.
Johnson. Thanks, Mike. Yeah. So it's not that crazy because the Jets traded a 4th, a 5th, or a 6th round pick, got 2 offensive linemen. All right. So their offensive line's built. They got their tackle last year. Now with a 2nd round pick, they got 2 1st round picks, don't they?
Who, the Jets? Yeah.
Yeah, so they're going to probably go cornerback with a 2nd 1st round pick, and then in the 2nd round grab a running back like Etienne or the kid from Alabama. So now they got a wide receiver. Their line is fixed. They got a running back. They got a quarterback. The Jets, watch out next year, guys. If they go that route, it's going to be a battle for New York again.
We're going to be in a really bad spot. But Joel, let me get your last thoughts here before I switch you off from Mike, man.
Nothing actually.
What are you looking forward to with the Super Bowl?
Kansas City's going to rock them. If Brady throws 2 interceptions against Kansas City, Mahomes is going to march down there and put up 14 on them, and then Brady ain't going to be able to come back from that. If they play like they played the Packers, Tampa Bay doesn't have a chance. 3 interceptions, not going to happen.
I agree with you.
I say 32-20.
Okay, it's pretty big gap there, but I agree in terms of the interceptions part. But thank you, Joel, as usual, for tuning in, man. Have a good one.
I hope you feel better.
Thank you. Next up, we got Mike. Mike, how you doing, bro?
What's good, Hub?
I'm good, man. What's up?
Man. I just can't wait till March 17th, which is free agency.
It doesn't look that much longer, huh? It's already February 2nd.
I know. I'm counting down the days, man. And then after that, we'll be counting down to the draft.
It's really moving fast, man.
I know.
So what are you trying to tackle in terms of topics, sir?
First, let me give my Super Bowl prediction.
All right, let me hear it.
I got Kansas City winning 30-20.
Wow, we're getting a lot of 30-20 type scores here, or not a lot, but the 2 I've gotten so far that are 30-20, and then there was the one in favor of Tampa Bay from Max, 27-24.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you guys think there's going to be a 10-point disparity?
I think Spagnuolo is gonna find ways to get pressure on Brady, and don't forget, Tyreek Hill had like a 300-yard game against them when they played Week 14.
Yeah, I think Mahomes had like 400 yards passing, so Hill had like 300 of those 400.
Yeah, that was crazy. And I mean, I definitely don't expect Tyreek to have 300 again, but I think he's gonna ball out
Hmm.
about 150, 160, and 2 scores.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think the hidden weapon here is going to be Kelsey.
True,
I,
true.
I think people
They,
are forgetting about Kelsey a little bit.
because you know what, you make a good point because
Oh,
they're
I'm sorry,
gonna.
real quick, Mike, because I haven't seen this person in a while. Shout out to Nikki in the chat. What's up, Nikki? My very first channel member. How you doing? It's been a minute, but go ahead, Mike.
You make a good point because I can see Tampa double teaming on Hill, and that will leave Kelsey to get open a lot.
Hmm. And then getting back to Hill, because I see two people bringing it up, Viz and KB, because we called the game obviously to get him in KB. Carlton Davis is not at all gonna have any chance guarding Tyreek Hill, bro. I
I
cannot see it
know.
happening.
I know. Oh man. Yeah. I mean, I mean, who can really guard him? Tyreek
I guess it's not so
with
much a
that.
way of guarding him one on one. It's just a defense
Yeah.
scheming around
Yeah.
him well. But it's like
Yeah.
Tampa Bay's number one corner right now is Carlton Davis, and I don't see a way that they do it, man.
Yeah. Um. What else? Man, I feel Joe Yado on trading down because right now I don't trust that the any of the receivers are gonna be there. Now with the Stafford trade and everything, man.
Really.
Yeah, I can honestly see the Dolphins, the Eagles, and probably definitely the Lions are probably gonna go receiver.
I'm gonna tell you this right now, man. Until draft day, I'm still saying that one receiver drops because I can't see three going in the first round. Not when these teams have other needs as well. Now, especially the Eagles. Like the Eagles, receivers ones their need, yeah, but it's like the least of their concerns considering the
Yeah, but
prospects that they could get at six.
one thing about Philly, they don't value linebackers.
That is true.
They
They
don't
also they
value
also
it.
don't know how to evaluate receivers based off of the past two drafts.
I know. So I mean, it's gonna be crazy.
Here's the thing, though,
But
right? Let's say in the worst case scenario, all three are gone, man. Man, I'm really exploring my trade options, but not too far down. You know what I'm saying? Maybe like at most four positions down, so I could still get a Bateman.
hmm
Any team behind me
mm,
that would probably want to jump for a QB.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't think, I don't know. I can't see three receivers being gone in the first 10, man. That is crazy.
I mean, it's happened before
It has,
with
but yeah,
Corey Davis,
2017.
Mike Williams, and John Ross.
And no, I see a burner a troll account for me asking about Pitts. Nah, I'm not a no disrespect to Kyle Pitts. I'm not a Kyle Pitts guy for the Giants, that is.
hmm Unless we trade down, but he'll probably be gone
You on Pitts?
at that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
I'm just not a Pitts guy, man.
yeah.
What do you think about it? Because you mentioned it before, real quick, and actually it's 10, so I'm gonna drop the link for, the regulars to get in here, guys. So here's the StreamYard link. You guys can start popping in soon. The last thing I want to ask you guys here is, or I ask you, Mike, since you brought it up, the Derek Carr and Las Vegas Raiders are basically fielding calls for Derek Carr, man. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I really don't see the value in Derek Carr. You're maybe gonna get a third round pick for him, if that. Probably more likely a fourth.
That begs the question: who in the world is going to trade for him?
I had no idea. But I just want to ask you, what do you think of the Matthew Stafford trade?
Yeah, so the Matthew Stafford trade, a lot of people in here already know I'm a pretty big Stafford fan. I'm happy he got out of Detroit. I'm kind of sad that Goff ended up in Detroit because I'm also low-key a Jared Goff fan, but it's like that's not something I expected to see at all. I'm gonna be honest with you. I did not expect that at all.
Yeah, for me, I am really considering the Rams to be a favorite for the Super Bowl next year.
I don't know, man. That's gonna be something we have to talk about another time. But that's an interesting one right there. Interesting take.
All right.
But thank you, Mike, as usual, for calling in, man. Have a good one, bro.
No problem. I hope you feel better, bro.
Thank you, man. Peace, Mike.
No, peace.
And then we're gonna have the first couple of callers in here. By the way, shout out to everybody in the chat. Love you guys. You guys have been supporting me really great. Shout out to Nikki, 6-month membership gang. That is true. A lot of time on the membership. And the first person up here we got is Logan holding a baby Yoda. What's up, Logan? How you doing?
How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good, bro. What about you?
I'm all right.
What's up with Grogu?
He's fine. I've done about I've done too many mock drafts to count within the last 5 days. I haven't breathed in what seems to be 5 hours.
So what's up? Why all the mock drafts?
Because something changes every 3 nanoseconds.
So which one are you most comfortable with telling us about?
This one right here.
Let's see it.
Okay, with the first overall pick, you know, so I'm not even going to mention it. With the second overall pick, the Jets select Zach Wilson.
Okay.
With the third, the Dolphins select Penny Sewell.
Mm-hmm.
With the fourth, the Falcons select Justin Fields. Mm-hmm. And then this is going to be controversial, but Burrow's life matters. So Rashawn Slater for Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
Micah Parsons, Philadelphia.
Okay.
Jamar Chase for Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Trey Lance for Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb Farley, Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas, Patrick Surtain.
Mm-hmm.
Devontae Smith, Giants. Jalen Waddle, San Francisco.
The back-to-back receivers. And by the way, shout out to Nikki for the $1 super chat. Thank you.
Christian Darrisaw because Herbert's life matters for LA.
Okay.
Minnesota, Kwity Paye. New England, Kyle Pitts. J.C. Horn, Arizona. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Najee Harris to Miami. Rashad Bateman, Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Greg Rousseau to Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Joseph Osai, Indianapolis. Azeez Ojulari, Tennessee. Elijah Vera Tucker to New York. Samuel Cosme to Pittsburgh. Zaven Collins to Jacksonville. Christian Barmore for Cleveland.
I gotta say, I'm liking the fact that you print out these mock drafts. Very professional.
Baltimore, Kadarius Toney.
Okay.
Terrace Marshall, New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
Randall Moore for Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Bolton, Buffalo. Jalen Phillips, Tampa Bay. And Jalen Mayfield, Kansas City.
That was a pretty interesting mock. I think definitely the one that struck me the most was Slater going 5th overall to the Bengals. And like you pointed out, well, Burrow's life does matter. So, I mean, damn, would they go that tackle?
Have you seen the highlights of Rashawn Slater whooping on Chase Young?
I haven't seen highlights, bro. I've been trying to look at tape if I could find any.
This man made Chase Young die on the field.
To be fair, all right. To be fair, we have seen tackles made. Various people die on the field and then they don't translate. I'm not saying that's gonna happen, but I'm just saying to be fair.
In my opinion, he's a more complete tackle than Penei Sewell. Penei Sewell needs some more technique work.
I have been seeing him rising up the board, and shout out to Nikki once again for the $1 super chat. Thank you, Nikki.
And in my opinion, if I were the Jets GM, I would take Penei Sewell, but I already know they're taking Zach Wilson, so that's why I just put it here.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, guys, we have New York Giants community royalty currently in the queue. I'm going to have to add this man in. I just looked down and saw him pop in. My God, I'm actually excited to have it on here. Justin Pennick from Talking Giants. Hello, Justin. How are you doing, man? I did not even know this man knew about my channel. What's up, bro? How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing all right, man. How are you? I'm happy to be on.
Thank you for, bro. I did not know you even knew about my channel. Thank you so much, man. Talking Giants. By the way, I found you guys on Reddit like 2 or 3 years ago. You guys do some great stuff over there, man. Best Giants podcast. I'll tell you that.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. What I was doing is I'm getting more into like the video editing aspect of things. You know, Talking Giants were kind of popping onto YouTube now the last year, and then I saw your mock draft come up, and you got to be the best video editor when it comes to Giants stuff. So I gotta give you props on that. So yeah, how are you doing? Who else am I talking with right now?
This right here is Logan. He's a young goat. He made his own mock draft, man.
I love it. How many mock drafts have you done, Logan?
2 minute count.
2 minute count. I do one because they give me too much anxiety. I do one, and that's in April.
You know what? Good choice making it all the way in April. I'll tell you that.
No, I can't do it. I think I did maybe 4 last year, and it was like leading up to April, and I was like, can't do it. It's just too much anxiety. Too much anxiety.
After doing I think it was around 5 first rounds, I started working on my second, and then I was just like, I don't care anymore.
By the way, shout out to Kid Blue. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. My fellow co-host on the Young Guns podcast. He says, "Gotta show support for my boy. Feel better, bro. Thank you." Hey, Justin pops up while I'm typing this. Let's go. If I could scream, I would scream. But thank you, KB. But Justin, so now that you're in here, I gotta ask, what do you think about Logan here having the Cincinnati Bengals going with a tackle, not Penei Sewell, Slater at 5th overall?
Well, I'll tell you what, Sewell is, from what I know about Sewell, and you know, we're just starting the draft process. You know, we're still doing some of our positional reviews of Talking Giants, so we're just starting to tip our toes in for draft content. But I can tell you, Sewell he's not your telltale typical tackle, and this
I would put him at guard.
Yeah. You know, it was the kind of maybe the same argument they had for Wirfs, right? Wirfs coming out of school where, you know, that was the cliche phrase that every draft content or scout was saying about Wirfs. He's better fitted at guard versus tackle. But then he goes and he has an awesome rookie year, arguably the best rookie year out of all the tackles. So I like going with the different idea for Cincinnati, since you know, you said Joe Burrow's life matters. He already has the stacked skill position players, even if they want to move on from Green. So Slater's kind of an interesting selection there. If
you whoop on Chase Young, get on the team.
So I got to ask you, Logan, other than the Slater pick, which pick were you most, I guess you should say, either proud of, or you looked at and you said, yeah, this right here is the pick that nobody saw coming?
Probably Jalen Waddle, San Francisco.
Oh yeah, having Jalen Waddle drop all the way to 12. I don't know, man. What are the chances of that happening, Justin?
Was Pitts off the board? Who did the Giants take there?
Devontae Smith.
Okay.
Where
did Pitts go?
New England at 15.
Oh man.
I also had Pitts.
My first receiver off the board was Jamar Chase to Detroit at 7.
Man, Chase may. Do you think Chase may not even last that long? This is all just really, at least in my opinion, as of right now, it is so much of a, you know, just pick your beautiful poison, so to speak. It's almost just at random. I could see Waddle go first, I can see Smith go first, I could see Chase go first, because those guys, they're all so good, and they're also uniquely good. in what they can do as well. Like Waddle right now is my number one, and that's very early on. Waddle's my number one.
And I'll tell you this, a lot of people forget that Waddle was the number one of Alabama before he went down. I even said that in my mock draft video. I'm like, Devontae Smith, I have him here because I do think he's probably the third best receiver in the class. And when I went into my mini analysis of him, I'm like, the reason he had such a great season, and I'm not putting down Smith as much as I am recognizing that the dude had a lot more targets because Waddle was out.
Yeah, I feel very bad for Waddle because that was supposed to be like Devonta Smith's season was supposed to be Jalen Waddle's season. Now, obviously, I don't think Waddle wins the Heisman when he's competing for targets with Devonta Smith, but in terms of the big plays, right? In terms of being the punt returner, in terms of being the best playmaker in the country, it was going to be Jalen Waddle because he proved it in the limited reps that he got in 2019, where he was basically fourth on the depth chart.
Mm-hmm. And shout out to Max Webster for the $10 super chat. Thank you, Max. He says, Justin, I've been messaging Bobby about my podcast. Don't know if he talked to you yet or not, but I'd love to talk to you about it as well sometime. Thanks for having me on, Hub. Hope you feel better, my guy. Thank you, Max. Yeah, Max is running. He literally started it today. Podcast where he interviews other content creators to try and see what's up with them outside of, content creating, basically, so to speak.
Yeah, and I was always like, well, obviously the Dolphins are taking Jamar Chase, but then I'm like, wait, they can get a decent playmaker in the second round and have Penei Sewell. Why not just take Penei Sewell when you can get a decent playmaker in the second?
What are you thinking, Justin?
I was responding to Max in the chat. Say that one more time for me, Logan.
I always thought the Dolphins would just take Jamar Chase, but then I was thinking they could just take a decent playmaker in the second, and why not just take Penei Sewell at 3?
You know what? Because that's a great point. This is even something that we're thinking about for the Giants too. There's so much depth at wide receiver.
Yeah.
And you even said the same thing about last year. There's so much depth at wide receiver that it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if you strayed away from wide receiver in round 1 and then went wide receiver round 2. So
who's gonna love you for that? One of my best supporters, Joel Yaddo. That's exactly what he was talking about when he called in.
Yeah. So that could, that may be something the Giants may be looking at, but also other teams like the Dolphins too. Which the Dolphins, they're at a point, unlike the Giants, they're at a point where what they have to do is kind of refine bits and pieces of their roster, you would think, because they have a lot of salary cap room and they've been, kind of rebuilding for a couple years now, kind of refine their roster a little bit instead of like overhaul with a lot of big positional needs.
Logan, let me get your last thought because I'm gonna have to switch you out here for Benny in a second.
Okay, I was just wondering because not a lot of people have him going this early, but I was wondering, how do you feel about Najee Harris at 18?
Hub, I'm passing this to you, bud. Passing this to you.
Who's picking at 18? Because 17
Miami
is Raiders. Oh, you have doesn't Miami have a running back? Am I tripping? I don't know.
Breida.
Breida and Jordan Howard were there, but that's nothing to
go home about, right? You know what? I'm not completely opposed to it, but and you have Miami taking Sewell earlier, so instead of going,
imagine the run game. Imagine the run game: Penei Sewell and Najee Harris.
Yeah.
That is a great combination, but oh man, I'm not against it. I'll say that. I really think I would prefer to go Bateman if he's available, though.
Yeah, I had Bateman going to.
But I'm not against it because I think Najee Harris gets a lot of unnecessary flack, or I guess I should say he doesn't get the recognition he deserves because he's a pretty good running back.
He's like a smaller, faster, more elusive Derrick Henry.
That's one comparison you can make.
Same body type. He's 6'2". What is he, like 6'2", 225?
Have you seen his legs though? I will say that. Jesus. But
is this the guy that they're comparing? They're showing the new picture of Saquon and AJ Dillon. You got competition.
Yeah, that was the guy.
Yeah, got the Saquon jersey right now.
Yeah, but yeah, thank you, Logan, for calling in, man. Have a good one and peace, bro. Before I get the next one, I just gotta say, Justin, once again, thank you for tuning in, man. You guys are like legit royalty. You guys have been doing this so long, man. I really do appreciate it, bro. How long can you stay on for? Because I got no problem keeping you on until I'm probably gonna end this around 11 if you're fine with that.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to hijack the stream. Let's get Benny on, and then maybe when Benny comes, maybe when you want to kick Benny off, I'll also I'll kick off too. But I want to give you credit. I want to give you credit, man, because I've seen, we've interacted on Twitter a couple times, and if I don't remember you on Twitter for being a jerk, odds are I really like you. So and I just started watching your videos. I just subscribed on through a couple emails that I have. I have a couple channels that I'm not active on, but they're just emails that I watch YouTube on. So I just gave you the subscription, and dude, what you're doing, in terms of the video editing and how your videos look, it's better than everyone else, and I really give you props for that. So keep it up.
I really do appreciate it, Justin. By the way, you're not going to be hijacking anything. I've had call-in shows where I have a superior guest on, so that's why I'm like, yo, if you're down for it, we could run the call-ins together. I pass a couple of the questions to you. I take a couple of it if you're fine with that.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you what, draft stuff, I'm not prepped yet.
All right, that's fine.
Not fully prepped yet, but
and the audience just heard that.
You got it. So you got me for Giants of Evil. Let's talk about draft. I mean, let's talk about whatever.
We could talk positions. Cool. We could talk positions. You don't necessarily need to know all the prospects yet, right? We could talk positions in need and stuff.
This is also the part of radio is faking it till you make it. So that's also part of it.
That's a good point. Next up, Benny, how you doing, man? We got another young goat in here. Justin, I just gotta say, how many other fan bases do you see with young, knowledgeable fans like this, bro?
Well, I'll tell you what. Talking Giants fans are usually old, uneducated men about football. So I'm glad to see that Benny's here. He's going to drop some knowledge. Benny, how you doing? How you feeling?
Good. How are you guys?
We're good, man.
Yeah, just chilling. Yeah, right now, just working on my YouTube channel because I started up a week or two ago, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just been kind of working on that, and we're just working on that and just trying to keep on looking into the draft and even free agency a little bit and more things about the Super Bowl. So I wanted to talk about the Super Bowl also a little bit because I heard you guys talking about also, first of all, a little bit earlier in the stream about Tyreek Hill, and I think that Tyreek Hill, he's not going to have a bad game, and he'll make a big player too, like he always does. But I think the person that's the receiver on the Chiefs that I think they're going to win, that's going to make them win, is going to be either Kelsey or another receiver. Because I think the Buccaneers are going to be so shifted towards Tyreek Hill because they don't have that number one type of cornerback, in my opinion. Yeah, and then they'll kind of, get Hardman and Kelsey and is Demarcus Robinson playing? I heard something about COVID with him, but I think I saw something.
Even if he isn't, he's their fourth option at that point.
Yeah, but exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I think it's going to be one of those guys that's going to come up with at least some big catch to win it. I think especially Kelsey, because once again, the Buccaneers just don't have that number one type of cornerback that they can trust with Tyreek Hill on the outside. So that means they're going to be shifting their defense, in my opinion, towards Hill. So, I think Kelsey's and other receivers are going to be able to get open, and that is what's going to get the Chiefs the win and their second Super Bowl in a row.
What are you thinking, Justin? Because what I'm thinking of right now is Week 14, Tyreek did go off a lot on the Buccaneers. But what are you thinking?
That's a great point, because if you give Todd Bowles 2 weeks to kind of come up with some sort of game plan, and at this point, I mean, you have such a large sample size of film, right? You have a large sample size of film about what offenses are doing, and it's so crazy because since I saw somebody, whether it's on Twitter, YouTube, or even if it was on a broadcast, of Tyreek Hill runs this option crossing route over the middle of the field, where he has an option. Whether he runs to the sticks and he turns around, think of the Jason Garrett play, or he has an option where he can kind of run a streak, or he has an option where he can run a slant, and it's all him coming out of the slot, and it's this option crossing route where he has this choice about based off of what he's seeing. He has 3 different options about what he can do, what coverage the defense is in. So, combining that and what looks does he typically rest in, what looks does he typically run a streak in. I love that chess match that's going to be happening. And I think if you give Todd Bowles 2 weeks to plan for it, I think he's going to come up with a good game plan. And Benny, you're right. It could absolutely open up Robinson. It could open up Kelsey. It could open up some running backs in the passing game as well. Edwards Hilaire as well.
Yeah.
I was watching some LSU versus Alabama in 2019 today, because I was trying to do draft prep. How do you like that? And the way that they were using Edwards Hilaire out of the backfield, he had some reception touchdowns in there too. So there's potential there.
Now, yeah. Also, if you think about it, I was just thinking about it one day. The Buccaneers defense, although like it's gonna be tough opponent with Kansas City, it is very complete. So, I mean, there's not really a spot that they're really lacking too much. I guess you could say corner they could be lacking. But
the thing is, Benny, right? Like I think I said it earlier. With both of these teams, we all know about their prolific offenses. I think both of their defenses are underrated. Both Kansas City's and Tampa Bay's. Justin mentioned you give Todd Bowles 2 weeks to plan. Spagnuolo ain't no slouch either. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah, and I think people underrate Kansas City's defense just because of how good their offense is. And Kansas City's defense, it doesn't have a ton of big names. Like, it has some big names on it, but it's very good, and it can sometimes even be the reason why they win. They can come up big and stuff like that. You look at the Super Bowl. I honestly thought that the 49ers were going to win because the Chiefs defense wouldn't be too good, but they proved me wrong. And I realized since then that the Chiefs defense isn't just some bad team and the offense is carrying. They're very good, and they don't really get recognized for that.
And a familiar defensive coordinator, Steve Spags, is game planner for Tom Brady again, and we all know that the success that he has. But also, and also in defense of kind of Tampa's defense, and why I think obviously the most exciting matchup in this game is the Tampa defense to the Kansas City explosive offense. Tampa Bay's defense is the 4th best in the National Football League this year at preventing explosive pass plays of 15 plus yards or more. The Giants were 5th, so the Giants also did a very good job on that. And one of the things that I learned about just the game of football this year, watching how the Giants operated themselves on offense, is the importance and the value of explosive plays. If you can, get big chunks in the run game, if you get big chunks in the pass game that puts you over the 50-yard line or puts you inside the red zone, that is so valuable versus 10, 11, 12 play drives where it's so tough to sustain those drives. So Tampa's really good at preventing those explosive plays. Kansas City is really good at producing them. So it's going to be an awesome clash to see who can come out on top there.
Benny, let me get your last thought here because I just saw that Bobby Woodruff, a member, just popped into the queue. So I'm going to have him on. Kind of jumps the line, guys. That's what happens when you're a member. But Bobby, let me get your last couple of thoughts there, man.
Okay. I just wanted to talk about one last thing. For Deshaun Watson, I see some people saying that the Giants should trade for him. What would you think? I don't like the idea because I would think it would take probably a first this year, or second this year, or first next year, maybe our second next year. I'm not sure. Daniel Jones, Dexter Lawrence, and even maybe Lorenzo Carter. I don't even know if that would be enough.
That sounds about right, and I'm not for the Watson trade, man.
Exactly. That's why I'm not for it. You're basically throwing away a big part of our defense. Who knows if our defense is going to be good? You're throwing away all the picks to make our team anything better, so we can't improve our offense, and we can't replace anything on our defense really too much, especially with because he's a big cap hit and stuff like that. So it would make no sense. There would be no chance for us to get better, and unless we somehow do great things and find a bunch of hidden gems in the draft. There's no, I don't know. I just don't see there's no way. And who even knows that the Texans want Daniel Jones? So there's just no way I'm doing that. I don't think it makes any sense at all. And I would give Jones one more year and continue to build through the draft. And build up this offense especially.
Justin, you on the Watson trade? Because I think you've been pretty clear with that on Twitter.
Man, I have a tweet in my drafts right now that I'm never going to put out, but I'm going to talk about it right now. Let's hypothetically say would you give up? And Hub and Benny, I'm going to ask you this: would you give up the Giants' last 5 first-round picks? The last 5. Those players include Saquon Barkley, which I know Saquon Barkley is a fan favorite, but also he's a running back, and you have to think about that and how much value does a running back have? Saquon Barkley, Daniel Jones, Dexter Lawrence, DeAndre Baker, and Andrew Thomas. Our previous 5 first-round picks. Would you give all those players up for Deshaun Watson?
Probably not. I would not.
Oh man, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm a staunch no on the Watson trade, but like that's not too bad. Am I crazy in saying
It's not
that?
the worst.
It's not too bad. Like obviously, you lose your left tackle. Obviously, you lose one of the young defensive pieces, but that's a lot less than I would think.
And I'm not saying those 5 players. I'm using those 5 players as an example of first round picks, because a lot of people like to panic and say, "Oh, well, you can't give up all these first round picks." Like, let's take the example of the last 5, and that Barkley, Jones, Baker's obviously a dud, Lawrence and Thomas, and I'm probably forgetting one. Let's take the example of those 5 players and say, if the Giants were to hypothetically, and this is never going to happen, this is not realistic, this is not me advocating for it, but if they were to do it, maybe not 5.
I was about to say you froze for a second.
Yeah, you've cut out for me also. I don't know. What?
No, but I was just, if anything, I was quiet, and I was like, I don't know.
Okay,
if you gave up those 5, not giving up 5 first-round picks, but hypothetically speaking, because those picks eventually do turn into players, and sometimes those players are not guaranteed Hall of Famers. Deshaun Watson is good.
But then at the same time, if you think about it, if you get Deshaun Watson, though, I mean, I guess if you gave up the last 5, you would have chances to make the team around better. But
Benny, so I'm gonna switch you on now, bro. Thank you for tuning in,
all
man.
right.
Guys, go to Football Talk with Benny. Sub him up. Peace, bro. And now I'm gonna add on Bobby Woodruff, the member. Bobby, what's happening, man? I started at 9.
Where's your face today?
Oh, well, I don't look the best right now, man, so I don't have the camera
Who cares?
on. I look terrible.
See your beautiful face.
It's all right, Bobby. Not tonight, though, man.
You're sick?
Yeah.
All right. Why are you doing this tonight if you're sick?
Well, I mean, I'm feeling better than I have the past couple of days.
Oh, that's good. Who's Justin? I never talked to Justin before.
How do you not know Justin? I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Bobby, what's up? I'm a co-host of Talking Giants on YouTube, and it's a podcast. We're all over the place.
Who do you do it with?
I do it with a Bobby Skinner. So you share the first name.
I heard of Bobby Skinner here.
Yeah, Bobby.
So where are you from originally?
I am from New Jersey.
Oh, you live in New Jersey now. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm from New York, originally from the Bronx and Queens.
Right on.
Now living in Smiley, Vermont. So the hub, I'm saying I'm going with Kansas City all the way. They're going to blow out Tampa Bay.
Blow out? Whoa, that's strong words. I mean, I'm going with Kansas City too, but why blow out?
Because we want Tom Brady to go down in flames.
I can't say I'm angry at that. What's the score?
We want him to go down. I say 31-17.
31-17.
17, yes.
Ah, man. Justin, do you think that the Chiefs defense would really hold them to 17?
I think Brady's too good. I also want a shootout. I want a shootout. I mean, scoring points in football is fun, and I think we saw that a couple years ago between the Pats and the Rams. Where just not high scoring Super Bowls are kind of not fun.
Yeah, but also, you know what? Bobby he might be on to something here. Remember now, everybody thought that 2008 Patriots team was gonna lay a whole bunch of scoring on us, and they were held down. It's not impossible.
Yep. And Tom Brady, we know that we're gonna hopefully Kansas City gets to them and sack them like 7 times.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Hey, Justin, I didn't like what you said. Those 5 players for.
No, I do not believe it. I do not want it to happen. I was being a devil's advocate, so that was a bad guy move on me.
Yeah, the Giants are not going to pick up Deshaun Watson at all. So.
No,
the Jets will probably. I say it's either Jets or Miami.
What do you
That's where he
guys?
wants to go to.
I'm gonna ask you both this. Let me hear Bobby and then Justin, because it was trending on Twitter. Not sure if it still is. The Raiders are shopping Derek Carr, and there's a possibility of a Derek Carr, Deshaun Watson type thing going on. What do you think about that, Bobby?
Maybe that could happen. Yeah, if let's see if Houston Texans like it, but the GM said he's not shopping around Sean Watson. I think he's the GM of
The Texans?
Yeah, sit on YouTube.
And Justin, what about you?
I feel like the Raiders have been shopping Carr for years. Yeah. But then here's the thing. Carr actually then he went out, especially this year. Like this year was the first year where I really feel like he really hit his stride. He was one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the league this year.
But who do you think, like, even including the Texans, is there a team out there that would trade for Derek Carr? Like, that's the question that it comes down to.
Man, what's that contract look like? I actually don't think the contract is too bad.
It's not too bad. I don't think it's bad either. I mean, the dude, he definitely hasn't gotten like a huge extension or anything. I mean,
You
it
think
is.
the Giants want Derek Carr?
No. Come on, Bobby. Stop it. Bobby.
You know who may want Derek
get him
Carr?
as a backup quarterback. I don't want anybody.
I don't think he wants to go somewhere as a backup.
Who do you want? Who you think the Giants will pick up in the draft? Hopefully free agency.
Oh, for a backup QB?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I haven't looked at it yet.
Yeah.
Maybe if Boy's not back.
I don't want Mariota.
No, too expensive. It is also just too expensive.
Also, you don't want to mess with DJ's head.
What about that other guy? He used to play for the Colts. Brissett?
Jacoby Brissett. Yo, but Brissett would be a great backup, but I gotta ask Justin this. Do you think that would mess with DJ's head? Is Brissett a little bit too much of a threat, or is he not?
You start 0-2, 0-3, and the conversations start.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem.
Well, let's don't think negative. Well, you think 0-3? I'm thinking they're going to start off good this year, better than last year.
Bobby, I'll tell you what. If we have the right offseason, we should start off good, but only if we have the right offseason.
Well, hopefully Barkley stays healthy. I love Barkley. I'm not giving up on Barkley.
Mm-hmm.
If they get Barkley, you think they're going to keep the train?
Well, Wayne Train, I think that's all dependent on what Wayne Gallman is looking for in terms of a contract.
Yep.
Well, he should keep it as is because he's not going to get any other.
By the way, guys, shameless plug. Get your Wayne Train shirt at my merch store.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know if he's not on the team. Why you buy it?
Yo, what do you think about getting Mark Ingram as a potential backup running back? He has quite a few ties.
Yeah,
here.
I like Mark Ingram. Yes, I do. Yes.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Justin?
It's actually ironic. We're talking about this week. His father caught that 3rd and 13 Super Bowl 25. So here's the question, though. And this is what Alfred Morris proved that he can do this year that Wayne Gallman could never do. Can he come in and be a situational running back where he does not need 5-10 carries to get his sea legs under him? Because that was always Wayne Gallman's thing. Wayne Gallman could never come in and be effective.
And he always fumbled.
Right, and he can never come in and be effective as Saquon Barkley's backup. He can only really come in and be effective when he was the pure #1 running back getting the majority of the carries. Alfred Morris.
And by the way, Justin, you mentioned his dad. Another connection is he absolutely loves Burton Burns. When Burton Burns was hired by the Giants, he was like the one non-Giant player praising him.
Who's Burton Burns? Who's that?
He's our current running back coach, and before he was with us, he was Alabama's running back coach.
Alabama, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I forgot.
So I mean, I don't know. It's something that could happen. I definitely would not mind if it does happen. Bobby, let me get your last thought before I get in the next caller, man.
Oh, I'm leaving already?
Well, I'm ending at 11, so I'm gonna try and get in as much people as I can tonight.
All right. So let's go. Kansas City kick ass.
We're all Kansas City fans this weekend, is what you're saying, Bobby?
Yes, of course. I'm not Tampa.
All right,
Brady. I don't hate Brady, but I don't want him to win.
You don't want him to get 7 rings.
No.
Love having you on, Bobby. Have a good one, man. Peace.
Okay, talk to you later.
Talk to you later. Next up, we got Jaden's. Real quick, bro. You know the rules. Turn on your camera really quick before I add you on here. There he is. The champ is here. What's up, Jaden?
The champ is here, man. We need to turn this energy up in here. It's been low today.
I
Don't
mean,
worry, Hub. I got you.
go ahead, turn it up,
I
man.
got your back, bro. Nobody else gave energy more than me in this channel. I got y'all tonight.
So bring
Now-
the energy. What's up?
Now, let's talk about the Super Bowl now. I got Kansas City 31-23.
I'm seeing a lot of 30 to 20 scores, man. What's up with these 30 to 20 scores? You not seeing a close game?
I mean, I can see it, but it really depends on Tampa Bay defense if they can bring the pressure, though.
See the Nets?
Yeah, that's what I know.
You watched the game there? They did their thing, right?
Yeah.
Come on, Jaden. How you gonna bring the energy and then talk about the Nets on my channel, bro?
Nah, somebody on the side brought it up. I wasn't expecting that. It really depends on Tampa Bay defense, though. If they could bring the pressure to Mahomes, if you don't pressure him, he will get enough time to throw the ball to Tyreek Hill, McCole Harmon, Sammy Watkins. I don't know if he's gonna play or not, but trust me, Tyreek Hill. I think he gonna have 200 yards in that game.
200.
Davis not guarding him.
200.
Hi, Justin. You seem a little taken aback.
It is
bro.
possible, though.
No, it
It's
is. It is.
He
Why
did
you
it in the regular season.
Yeah, he did. The thing about the Bucks bringing pressure, and this is one of those things where is it better to blitz Mahomes so then he runs around like a little freaking hamster like he is, and he breaks containment and he's throwing the ball all over the field, or do you play soft? Rely on your front four. I mean, they got some pretty talented pass rushers. They got Sue, they got JPP, they got Shaq Barrett. Shaq Barrett, impending free agent. He may be a pickup by the Giants. So what's the game plan? What's the approach here? Do you blitz or do you kind of play back in coverage so then Mahomes can't really run around? I don't know.
I mean, if you blitz right against Kansas City, you know Kansas City wide receivers know how to get open, though. They easily go be open on a blitz.
Yep.
Even if you do play back, Kansas City are quick enough on a route to get a quick catch and turn it into like a 50-yard game.
It's true.
Another thing I'm gonna talk about is the Giants drive. I know everyone is so
You good there, Jaden? What's happening?
I got a random phone call.
It's all right. Continue your thought process.
They really don't want me to talk on here. That's crazy.
You're good. What do you think of the Giants at 11? What are you thinking of the Giants draft?
Yeah, let's talk.
I mean, I would expect to go wide receiver, but I personally want a corner. It's just me, though.
So you're
Because
saying
you're
saying if Surtain is there, you'll definitely take him then?
I like my chances with a corner. Because last time we drafted a first-round wide receiver, it was Odell. We signed him to a huge contract extension. It's just to trade him away to the Browns.
I mean, but to be fair, Odell did work out in a sense of becoming that number one. So isn't that what we need?
Yeah, if we're gonna get that number one wide receiver, I don't want to overhype the wide receiver. Try to give him a contract extension. I don't want to go with that type of route.
What are the chances of that happening again, though? I think Justin would agree with me in saying the chances of that situation happening again are probably low.
Yeah, and Jaden, I have to ask you, my man, what's been the result of drafting cornerbacks in the last couple of years since we've done it? We drafted Eli Apple in the first round.
How about you go back last 10 years?
DeAndre Baker in the first round, and both these guys aren't on the team, man. So I like the idea because drafting a corner, it's so tempting because you're talking about an above average defense that the Giants have right now to a great defense. And the most important thing in the NFL is to stop the pass. It really is. And the Giants would have one of the league's best secondaries. With Darnay. Yeah. They would really have an awesome secondary if they were to go that route. But the offense just needs so much help because the defense is kind of already in a good spot. I like it, Jaden, though. I like it.
So, in your opinion, who you want the Giants to draft, though?
Justin, that's a good one for you there. Who do you want the Giants to draft?
As of right now, as of February 2nd at 10:39 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I am either on the Pitts train or the Waddle train. We need some playmakers on offense. We need guys that can create explosive plays for Daniel Jones. The only problem is who can fit best in Jason Garrett's scheme and system that is not player friendly or not even quarterback friendly.
So I will say this. I'm gonna pretend he didn't say Kyle Pitts. This is a no Kyle Pitts zone, but I will definitely go with Jalen Waddle. I'll say that.
Oh, we're gonna have to talk Hub. No, and I'm early in the process, so we're gonna have to talk Hub. You're talk me off the ledge, and I would appreciate that if you were to do that early on, so I don't sound like a fool.
The reason I am personally not for Kyle Pitts, at least to the Giants, is that we need a playmaker, yes, and Kyle Pitts is 100% a playmaker, but we need that playmaker at the wide receiver position. All right, we have, as much as I hate Evan Ingram, and since week 4, I've been saying trade this man, cut this man, get him off the team. Yes. We do have a playmaking tight end readily available, you know what I'm saying? And tight end, kind of like you pointed out earlier, running back positional value-wise at 2, not the greatest thing. Tight end positional value-wise at 11, not the greatest. Look at the tight ends recently taken high in the first round. Are any of them worth where they were picked in the past 2-3 years?
It's true.
Like, you could find really good tight ends, later on in the draft. You know what I'm saying? Same with running backs, going back to the point that you brought up. That's why I'm like, Pitts at 11, right? We're talking 11. To me, doesn't make sense as compared to if they're available, one of those top 3 wide receivers at 11.
Here's food for thought. Joe Judge coming from New England. And what has New England been famous for, kind of stemming back maybe the last decade or so, starting with Hernandez and Gronk, utilizing 2 tight end systems and having 2 kind of number 1 tight ends. They even did it with Martellus Bennett and Gronk for a minute there too. So it's
this is my response to that. It's a good point. Joe Judge is from New England, but he is not New England. He is not Belichick. He is not Josh McDaniels, right? I will say that in response to that. And also, from what it seems, it looked like this man, Jason Garrett, as much as I hate him as well, kind of has a really good hold on what the offense is going to be.
Define good hold on
that's a good point. Jaden, let me get your last thoughts before I switch you out, man.
My last thoughts is I hope you get better, even though we all hate COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody sub up to Hub's channel and Justin channel. And soon enough, I'm going to start posting videos on my channel myself soon.
Yeah. For sure, Jaden. The champ is now not here. Peace out, Jaden.
All right.
So with Jaden gone, next person I'm going to have on here is Anthony Martinez. What's up, Anthony? How you doing, bro?
Hey, what's up? What are your thoughts on the Senior Bowl? Who dropped and who rose? I'm
gonna keep it real with you, Anthony. I did not get to observe the Senior Bowl because that's when the whole COVID thing happened. But I think the guys over at Talking Giants did, right? So yes. I'm gonna direct this over to Justin Pennick. This is your time to shine, man.
Yeah. So my co-host Bobby Skinner, he was down at the Senior Bowl, and one of the guys to rise was wide receiver Amari Rodgers out of Clemson. A guy to kind of fall was linebacker Chaz Surratt. He was hurt. He didn't play in the game itself, but he kind of looked a little sluggish during practice. He was a guy that Bobby and I both kind of liked. Another guy...
even as recently as tweeting last night, I think one of you did. It was either you or Bobby that tweeted about Chaz.
Oh, he's tweeting about Chaz all the time. If he had a preference, he'd tweet about Chaz every day. I'll give you a little sneak preview. There's a mock draft. First Giants mock draft. Bobby did it. I kind of edited the video a little bit, and the first mock draft on Talking Giants channel is coming out 11 o'clock, 11:15 on the channel tomorrow, and he still did choose Chaz Surratt in a mock draft. So I will give that teaser right there. So we still love Chaz Surratt, but his stock kind of did fall a little bit. Yeah, but Amari Rodgers, one of those, again, a wide. We talk about the depth in this wide receiver draft of a guy that is rising, and maybe not a guy that you need to take top 10, but he may be there a little bit later on for you to take. His stock is kind of rising. And everybody loves talking about Brown out of Alabama, DeAndre Brown out of Alabama because of just his size, the guard.
Yeah.
He's just a bulldozer. There's highlights of him just trucking dudes in the run game. He had a bad week. So those are some a few guys thrown out there. There were a few tackles that had a good week. A guy out of North Dakota State. So look up a tackle out of North Dakota State. He had a really good week. He looked really good, especially one-on-one drills. No, North Dakota State's FCS. So FCS, FBS. So yeah.
And by the way, we got another GOAT that just popped in. Shout out to KB RB27. What up, Kibble? He's in here now. What's up, man?
What's going on, man? What's going on? Sorry I'm late, man.
It's all good, bro. So, KB, you just gonna pop in and not say anything, bro? Not say hi to the young GOAT?
Oh, well, what's up, everybody? Welcome, everybody in the chat. Justin, pleasure seeing you, man.
Pleasure.
Yeah, and what's going on, Anthony? What's going on, man?
Up? Your mock draft Cub, I disagreed with the Patriots pick because they're looking like they're needing a quarterback other than Cam Newton.
Oh yeah, for sure. The reason I didn't have them taking a QB, as for I think I also didn't have the Colts taking a QB because I think they're gonna find one that's already there, like one of these guys that's in trade talks or something, maybe in free agency.
Yeah,
I had them going Kyle Pitts, by the way, for KB and Justin Penix. So what do you guys think about that? Kyle Pitts going 15 to the Patriots.
Well, according to you, Kyle Pitts should be falling to like the 5th round.
I never said that, but I'm
got him a little bit there.
I'm kidding.
What about you, KB? Oh no, go ahead, Justin.
No. I wanted to make that joke, and then I'll throw it.
I like it. I definitely would. I would say that is definitely a New England pick. They always make kind of weird selections in the first round, similar to most of these late first round teams usually do, like Seattle, picking weird prospects. But I wouldn't say Kyle Pitts is a weird prospect. I just don't think that's their prospect that they should be going out there. I think they definitely need a quarterback in there. Cam Newton, he's on a 1-year deal, so they really don't. They have Jarrett Stidham right now at quarterback.
The thing is, I really do think they're gonna get somebody that's already here, though. Like
Okay, so like another free agent. Okay, I mean, it's possible. There's a lot of quarterbacks going around this year. We may even see Jimmy G go back to New England. Who knows? Because he's a free agent as well. Well, he's not a free agent. He's under contract, but he's gone. So there's that.
And then Anthony, what's your next question, man? By the way, shout out to Jaden Dawkins. Thank you for $2 super chat. He's not at full strength, guys. He's about at like 65, 50, right? Where are you at? Like I'd say 50, 60.
50. Okay, 50, 60, man. He's a little bit down, guys. A little bit down.
Yeah, Anthony, let me answer the question, bro.
All right. If we don't bring Wayne Gallman back, and that's a big if. Look at Demetric Felton from UCLA. He looks like he can. He looks like the Le'Veon Bell, who's faster at running routes, and they had him play receiver at the Senior Bowl most of the time during practice.
Mm-hmm. Really? What round is that? Does anybody else know about him? Demetric Felton?
No, but I'll definitely keep an eye.
Yeah, his name barely popped up. Because he was originally a running back, and they had him running wide receiver routes. And I watched his film; he looked pretty fast.
Maybe an Antonio Gibson, another Antonio Gibson in the draft.
Maybe. And I just want to say, Josh, I'm sorry for your loss, man. Thank you. You didn't need super chat, but your supporters. Thank you so much. His mother unfortunately passed away this morning due to COVID. I feel you on living life to the fullest and one day at a time, man. I currently have it. I'm trying not to spread to my parents who are high risk and whatnot. So I'm sorry for your loss, man. And you know what I'm saying? I'm just a YouTuber that you watch, bro. But my personal messages are always open if you ever just want to talk anything, man. My condolences, bro.
Yeah, Josh, I send out my heart to you, man. You've been one of our best supporters, and you're not even a Giants fan. So the fact that you're always in these streams, man, I appreciate you, man. And sorry for your loss, man. I definitely feel for you, man. Prayers out to you, man.
Yeah, man. I hope you're doing fine, bro. I mean, I know that was kind of a damper on the conversation. But Josh, my offer still stands. And back Anthony, what were you saying, man? I'm sorry I cut you off, bro.
Oh, you're good, bro. This is more of a rant. Why do these Giants fans want to trade away what we got in the draft so bad to get Deshaun Watson?
Can I tackle that real quick?
Yeah.
I understand why Giants fans want Deshaun Watson. Why? Like I love Deshaun Watson. Everybody that says, "Oh, if you're against Deshaun Watson coming to New York, then you just don't want Deshaun Watson because you hate Deshaun Watson or whatever." That's not the case whatsoever. You look at this team; we are definitely not a quarterback away. You look at Deshaun Watson; he's a star, he's a superstar. Guess what? His team went 4-12 this year. Okay, so what does that tell you? Is that Deshaun Watson, although he's a superstar, that tells you Deshaun Watson cannot carry a garbage team. I'm not going to say we're garbage. I definitely think we're better than the Texans, but at the same time, they still went 4-12. So say we bring on Deshaun Watson, and we still need a wide receiver. We still need some more depth at corner, maybe offensive line. The list goes on and on of the needs we need on this team. And then we get rid of, say, our next first-round picks. Where are we going to get this receiver? And then we'll have to pay a wide receiver to come over here. So where we're going to get the cap space to then sign anybody else that we need, because we don't have the draft capital to get any big playmakers in here. We'll have to find gems in later rounds. I just don't see. You have to be looking into the future when you're talking about Deshaun Watson. Think about the pros and cons. Everybody's just focusing on the pros, on the highlight tapes on Deshaun Watson. He could spin out of a sack and throw a sidearm into the end zone. That's what they're thinking of. They're not thinking of where is this team currently, and what Deshaun Watson would bring and what he would take away. You also have to think about what he's going to take away. He's going to take away a lot of draft capital, and then we're going to have to spend some cap space filling in those spots that we could use draft capital on. So that's my thoughts on it. I would love Deshaun Watson here. Of course, we just don't have. I don't think we could afford Deshaun Watson. I really don't.
Really well put, Justin. Anything to add, or even a difference in opinion there?
No, that's a great point. That's a great point. I can't agree more. And it's just unfortunate that the Giants are still out of state, and I understand, having a quarterback, an all-time franchise quarterback in Eli Manning, having him kind of linger around while Dave Gettleman was still hired, and kind of restarting and kind of investing in Eli to try and go for it one more time and that not working. 2018 has really set the Giants back by probably more than 1 year. And the Giants are now accepting that, and we're living in it. We're living in now the rebuilding process with Jones and Barkley and everybody trying to come in here. And also we're living through Jason Garrett's offense, which is no fun.
Vanilla.
Right. So it's unfortunate that you look at the Rams when they made that Stafford trade. And yes, they gave up a lot, but also what does a first round pick matter in 2 years from now if number one, you have a Super Bowl, and number two, you have all these good players on lucrative big deals and their contracts are up. And Donald is approaching, he's been in the league for a little while now. He's approaching the latter end of his prime. Ramsey is, going to maybe want a new he just signed a contract, but he's going to want more money during the next contract. So the whole thing is that when you have these guys, when you have such talented players and a core group of players together for a couple of years, and talented group of players, you want them to go out and you want them to win a Super Bowl together. So you look at that and it's like, yeah, did the Rams maybe get a little fleeced? Did they give up a lot of first-round picks? Yes, but will it be worth it if they get a Super Bowl? Absolutely. Does Matt Stafford give them a little bit of a better chance at Jared Goff? Absolutely, you would definitely think that's the case. So, the trade makes sense for the Jets because they have the cap space, they have the picks, and it's just like, well, why not? We haven't had a quarterback since Joe Namath. Miami, it makes sense because that roster is a lot closer than the Giants or really any other team that is really looking to rebuild. The Dolphins are looking to go for it. So it does not make sense for the Giants. So I can't agree with that more.
And Anthony, I'm going to just get you quick closing out thoughts because I'm going to switch you out here for Big Blue in the Bronx, man. Thank you for calling in.
You're welcome.
Oh, that's it? Well, hey.
Oh, wait, hold on. My bad. I thought you were asking me a question. His last name is Powell. He was a receiver out of Clemson. I saw him I watched his film on the Senior Bowl. Justin, I'm not sure if you watched his film yet. What do you think?
Powell, you said Powell out of Clemson?
Yeah, I think he was from Clemson.
Yeah, the only guy I made note of is Amari Rogers, but there was a couple of wide receivers at Clemson running around. They really boosted their draft stock. So you gave us some names that we got to check out, man. So credit to you, Anthony Martinez. You better start some sort of YouTube channel yourself because it's February. It's February. Yeah. You know, we're all still trying to take a breath from the season ending, and you know, Super Bowl's going on. You're grinding draft content. So
man, I'm gonna tell you this, Justin. The young goats, the young Giants fans have been grinding draft content for like weeks now, bro.
Make me feel bad.
Yeah, we got some smart guys out here, man.
Yeah. Anthony, have a good one, bro. Thank you for calling.
All right. You too, bro.
Next up, we got Big Blue in the Bronx in here. What up, Big Blue in the Bronx? How you doing, man?
Down Bronx. What up, man?
What's up? So I want to talk about something real quick before I get to my own points that I really thought up. Not just they're basically not talking about points, not just because it's me, but the guy's name, Cornell Powell. Out of Clemson. That's, I think, his name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alex, I need to say something.
Sure.
You're everywhere. And you're a grinder, and I give you credit because anytime I don't pop into, I'm not really big into whole Giants YouTube. You know, I have to get into it because, you know, we're, you know, Talking Giants is on it now. But anytime there is a stream, you are on it. You are grinding. You are doing awesome. So it's always nice to chat with you.
Thank you.
Hey.
By the way, I just want to talk a little bit, just a tiny bit about the Deshaun Watson thing. Obviously, detecting that I have this on, you're probably going to think I'm against him, which I am. And it's not just the fact that, listen, Deshaun Watson is one of the best QBs in the NFL and had a great statistical year, despite having Chad Hansen as probably one of his best receivers, former Jet. But my point is, A, we're not in the position. Giving up that many first-round picks gives us the expectation that we absolutely have to transition to a win-now team. If you don't have 11 wins, you're a failure. And it's, you know, I know I'm going to say something that another YouTuber we all know says, is that I'm just not a fan of this whole clickbait content that's coming out from the beat reporters and all the other guys.
Who says that? I want you to name the name.
Cop Hizzle.
Oh, good friend. Good friend of mine.
Friend of mine too.
Yeah, it's no secret that
a friend of us all. A friend of us all,
that me, the Talking Giants, and Kid Blue don't exactly have
the chat. The chat's going wild right now.
Yeah, we don't exactly got the best relationship with that guy.
I would love to have a cigar with him one day. Just kick back, you know, just talk about life. Just like relax, like talk at a normal volume, like a indoor voice volume, and just have a nice chat about how we're doing in life.
And what we're doing in terms of Giants content. But I would say, you know, I haven't been ripped up on one of his videos yet. Like, I mean, he does streams with the Entertainer, but recently in one of his videos, he ripped him up.
I will say, Alex, I'm glad that you said "yet" at the end of your statement.
I mean, I am going into some of the draft stuff, but. Yeah, when I was talking about the clickbait content, it's just like all the beat reporters, and obviously, as you know, content creators ourselves, we have all watched broadcasters in our lifetime. Someone has at least inspired us, and we now to this day, because we're content creators, we know what's happening. Is sometimes we rip on those broadcasters for just setting the headline and just making, you know, these big takes. Chris Carlin is, you know, one of those guys that I ripped on Twitter for basically saying the Giants should get Deshaun Watson rather than the Jets. And, you know, I said, we have no position in that. Jets have a better position. They have all the cap. And then he basically summed out the salary, which is like $10 million this year. Then they go into the extension. So again, does not make a lot of sense. And again, I'm sorry that the Giant fans actually sucked into that. And listen, you could be a fan. Everybody's a fan. But it's just sad to see that these, you know, beat reporters and these media pundits are sucking them into just clickbait. You know,
I hate it as well too, because you've seen it, in my opinion, like the rise of these type of stories a lot more in the past couple of years. And this might be me speaking with a gigantic ego, the way some people might look at it, but I think it's a direct correlation to the rise of other media sources, the main ones being us, whether it's Spotify, whether it's YouTube, and they're kind of realizing they're losing a little bit of their audience.
They gotta get some volume.
Yeah,
they gotta get some volume.
It's the fact that a lot of people are going on YouTube because, you get to see
We're
fans.
not controlled by somebody. Also.
Yeah, it's that. And it's also, in my opinion, and I use this a couple of examples because I host a journalism site and I was a part of one before. It's a lack of creativity. The last, and I'm not going to toot my own horn here, excuse me. The last episode of my podcast that I premiered today was I did what ifs for free agency. What situations could the Giants do this, and that, which I'm going to get into right now. Just a tiny bit. I'm not going to take up the whole conversation. But let's say this. Do the Giants bring back Kyler Fackrell if they don't have the confidence in Lorenzo Carter and O'Shane Zimenez's health, or do they not have the confidence in O'Shane Zimenez as a pass rusher? Because people are saying, he was injured, but he didn't play that many snaps before he got injured. The most snaps he played was in the 49ers game, and we got crushed.
Yeah, that is a conversation that I am surprised, even by myself, that I haven't been talking about. But I know it's a huge deal. We look at the edge rushing position, man. We're still in a bad spot. I know we're talking about pass rusher because Leonard Williams and trying to keep him and Dalvin Tomlinson, but we got to talk about these edge rushers too, man. And you brought up a good point about Kyler Fackrell. I could definitely see him staying because relying on two young pass rushers in O'Shane Zimenez and Lorenzo Carter that are coming off of season-ending injuries is not what you want to start off at. So I agree with your statement there, and I think that's a conversation we definitely have to have with the Giants as far as their defense goes.
And Justin, your thoughts on the edge rusher? And then I'm gonna get this super chat, which kind of relates to that.
Yeah, Alex, you brought up that point before about Kyler Fackrell, and I kind of like it because also something that I was thinking of while you were talking. The market for edge rushers has not been there for what the players expect the last couple of years. How long did it take Jadeveon Clowney to get signed? How long did
Yannick Ngakoue too? Mm-hmm.
How long did Ngakoue? Yeah. How long did Marcus Golden?
And a lot of people forget because he technically didn't get signed. He ended up going back to his team on a tag, Matt Judon.
Yeah.
Yes. So who else am I? There's one other name that I think I'm forgetting. But anyway, the market for edge rushers is not the same. There are no longer, huge Olivier Vernon deals being given out to players who don't have like 10 plus sack seasons, who aren't studs. I'm going to be interested to see, what Shaq Barrett gets, because Shaq Barrett, I kind of think is the real deal there in Tampa.
He might not have had his crazy 20 sack season, but he showed up in the playoffs.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, for sure.
He still gets those pressures. So, but given, Kyler Fackrell that deal, and especially since the Giants love versatility, and that's the, I don't want to say the worry, but I guess that's what you're a little apprehensive about with O'Shane Zimenez. Can he be a 3-down player? Mm-hmm. Lorenzo Carter was getting like 90% of the snaps when he was active because he can stop the run, and he even showed up as a pass rusher with generating some pressures and some sacks before he got hurt. So Marcus Golden was getting like 30% of the snaps, and he was a 10-plus sack guy for the Giants in 2019. So the Giants value, and Patrick Graham, Joe Judge, they value that versatility, and Kyler Fackrell can bring that. He's probably a little bit better of a run defender than he is a pass rusher, so he brings it.
And then Mike Nixon, shout out to you for the $10 super chat, man. Thank you so much. He said, hey, I heard a rumor today that J.J. Watt wants to be released instead of traded so he can decide where he wants to go, and the Texans are willing to do it because of what he's done for the city. Well, I'm telling you right now, he's probably just going to go and unite all three of the Watt brothers in the Steelers.
If they have any money left.
God, they go to Pittsburgh.
I'm saying that for fun, but to be honest with you, where does JJ even want to go? I don't know, man. He doesn't have the pick of the litter because he's old now and he's past his prime. But like, I don't know where he would go.
I don't know.
He would want to go to a winner. I mean, that's where I would think it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not just about a big city for him, because sometimes guys want the big city to increase their brand. I mean, JJ Watt.
What about this? What about Rams? KC? I was going to say KC because Frank Clark is also aging, and I could see them having two older guys on the edge, and they always find a way to make
Frank Clark is not old. The guy got drafted in like 2015, man.
Yo, man's like he's aging. All right. He ain't the best.
I get what you're saying, though, yeah.
But you wouldn't think if you look at Pat Mahomes...
They found a way to make the money, though.
If you look at Pat Mahomes' contract, you kind of barf a little bit to see how they maneuvered his year by year breakdown for the next couple years. The cap hit is not as big as you think. And then they backloaded it. They backloaded that contract
heavily.
So they still have room. And, I don't know what the cap is going to look like this year. And it sucks that, but JJ Watt's probably not even going to demand that much. He would probably take less to go to a competitor and to go to a winner.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Maybe like a Clay Matthews deal with the Rams.
Yeah, what happened to Clay Matthews? Is he out of the league?
Tired. I think
he's out. After the Rams, he was out.
Wow, damn, I didn't even know that. Maybe he does go to Clay Matthews. To the Rams, because Leonard Floyd might leave the Rams this offseason. Who knows? We'll see how that goes.
That's another guy I really want the Giants to try to target, but on a cheaper contract. Shaq is my number one guy, but that's if you're gonna throw all the money at Shaq. Leonard Floyd is like that bot, like the lesser tier that's gonna cost less money. And if you don't get Shaq, you could settle for Leonard Floyd, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
Alex, let me get your last thought before I switch you out, bro.
Okay, so 2 quick questions. Well, actually, 1 prediction. The Giants, let's just say they don't bring back Leonard Williams. I think they take a high pick at defensive tackle because they need somebody that that is able to stop the run, and they need someone that rushes the passer. So maybe 2nd, 3rd round. Now, I would like the Giants if they didn't bring back Dalvin, I would like them more to rotate RJ McIntosh and BJ Hill. I don't think they'll do that. I think they'll go in the later rounds and select one of their own guys rather than going off somebody who was in the Shermer coaching staff. And the last one is, say the Giants don't get Mark Ingram as a backup running back. Would you be content with the Giants either signing Dion Lewis or Alfred Morris?
No, Dion Lewis, no. Dion Lewis, absolutely not. Hell no. Dear God, no. I have my words about Dion Lewis because my guy MJ from Sports Fan Entertainment, he's a Tennessee Titans fan, and he despised Dion Lewis. So I already hated Dion Lewis from when he got signed here. But Alfred Morris is not a bad option, but I can't have Dion Lewis here. Alfred Morris is not a bad option. I don't. Especially at running back too. I don't mind him, coming in and spelling Barkley, every once in a while from fatigue. I don't mind that whatsoever. But yeah, I really hope the Giants were to sign Mark Ingram on a cheaper contract, get a little 1-2 punch going.
And then the first question you asked about Ed Rusher in the 2nd or 3rd.
Oh yeah, when he said high pick, I thought he went 1st round. I'm like, no defensive tackle in the 1st round, please, dear God. That's all that went in my head. But 2nd, 3rd round, I could see, and I wouldn't mind it.
Justin, what about you?
A world without Leonard Williams is a world I don't want to live in.
But at what price?
Yeah, I was about to ask.
At what price?
Are you paying whatever?
Here's the thing.
Don't go over 20, Justin.
When everybody, I'm going to let you know that I have a personal bias towards Leonard Williams.
Okay.
When everybody was doubting him, like during the summer, I said on Talking Giants, and there's receipts.
Mm-hmm.
I said on Talking Giants, he was going to find a way to get 10 sacks this year, and he was going to become a player that everybody was going to like and love. Like, usually even sometimes when guys have a good season, let's say if Leonard Williams got like 7 sacks, which is a solid season, there would still be a chance where he would still be a hated player.
I'd say that, yeah.
Because in 2019, if you even look at his 2019, his 8-game rate, what he did with the Giants then, and then compare it to 2020.
In 2019, he was double teamed 62% of his snaps.
Right. And the pressures, the QB hits that he still put together on that 8-game rate, it told you, it let you know, it kind of like inferred that if he can keep up that pressure and QB hit rate, the pressure rate kind of overall, that the sacks were going to come. It was so, people called him Mr. Almost. Well, guess what? That's a good thing. I would rather have my guys let's say 8 sacks, 30 QB hits versus 12 sacks, 20 QB hits. I would rather that. I really would.
Say Olivier Vernon was Mr. Almost.
Right. But what Olivier Vernon did, year in and year out, he created pressure, and unfortunately for him, it never. I mean, 2016 he was pretty good, but you're even seeing it now. Olivier Vernon had a great year this year because throughout his NFL career, what he's been able to do is just consistently create pressure. And we're going to have 1 or 2 years where if you do that consistently throughout your NFL career, you're eventually going to hit. And Leonard Williams hit big time in 2020.
I will say the only reason I got personal bias for Leo is because he had me in his Instagram video. And so for that reason, in the Discord, my name is Paleo in the Discord now. But thank you for tuning in, Alex, man. Guys, go over to check out.
Better. I had COVID myself, so.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
Same here. We're all getting it. We're all survivors.
Yeah, and KB had it too not too long ago.
Yeah.
All right, see you, Alex. Have a good one, man.
See ya.
The next person I'm gonna have on here is Eddie Clutch. Eddie Clutch. The rules of the channel is, I'm assuming you're new, is you have to have your camera on, and there's the camera. Thank you, Eddie. What's up, man? How you doing? Oh, the echo. All right.
What up, man?
There we go.
Yeah, what's up, man? I think this is the first time ever I'm having a Jaguars fan on here, bro. How you doing?
Fortunately, yeah. I just wanted to talk about, Super Bowl draft, what you guys been talking about lately, get a number 1 overall pick perspective.
Real quick. Is that a Trevor Lawrence jersey?
Yep. I was going to ask that.
Wait.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Oh, he's taking it off. I was about to say.
He's already for sure.
Yep.
There he goes.
This man is beyond prepared, bro. Is that
all right?
I got it after the Jets beat the Browns.
He didn't wait for the season to end. He said it's done.
I knew immediately right when that happened. We locked the first pick, and I was like, we had to do it,
Eddie, I have a question.
Yeah.
What if he chooses to go 17 and not 16?
Then I'll just take this off and put it on my DJ Chark jersey.
There you go.
Man, this man is prepared. I do gotta ask, how'd you find the channel as a Jaguars fan?
Just searching through like sports podcasts, sports streams. Just was bored for the night. Just wanted to look it up.
All right, man. Well, thank you for tuning in, bro. Yeah, shoot me a question, man.
Yeah, definitely. I'm from Jersey myself, so it's pretty weird being a Jags fan here. So I get a lot of, Giants and Jets fans, Eagles fans, and it's pretty cool to hear everyone else's perspective on things. So I'm very knowledgeable when it comes to, Giants, Jets as well. So that's why I thought maybe come in here, give an outsider perspective and give a neutral perspective when it comes to the Super Bowl and draft time.
Eddie, really quick, how did that happen? How did a Jaguars fan in New Jersey happen?
I have no idea.
So were you born in Jersey? Were you born in Jersey? Had you,
born in Jersey?
Born in Jersey, so didn't spend time in Florida or anything like that. Hey man, fan's a fan, no matter what, man. I respect it, man.
Who's gonna bandwagon the Jags right now? Same, like nobody's bandwagoning the Giants, nobody's bandwagoning the Jets. So you're a true fan, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
I'm looking for the Jets to win a game,
Right.
Yeah, definitely. But I think I've been hearing a lot about the Super Bowl coming up, and I think that a lot of people are making the scores too far out for the Chiefs. And
you heard all the 30-20 scores, right?
I've been hearing a lot of that, even in school, even in chats that I'm in. There are a lot of people are saying the 30-20s, and I just think that it's going to be either a shootout or a low scoring like mid-20s game, and I think that's what it is going to be. I think both teams are focusing on the defensive side of things, and it's going to come down to the defense. And if you look at the defense, I think Tampa Bay's defense is way better than Kansas City's. And if you have to have one defense, take Tampa Bay all day. And Brady is the GOAT, and he's going to find a way to try to win this game, no matter the circumstances, no matter if Mahomes is passing for 200 yards, 500 yards, etc. And that's why whenever I make a bet with a friend or decide who's going to win a game, you just never can count out Tom Brady. And I just think that it's just one of those games where it's going to be so tough to decide who's going to win it, because both teams are so talented on both sides of the ball, per se. You have Mahomes, Hill, Kelsey, Hardman. I know Watkins may not be playing. I know, I believe Robinson as well. He's on the COVID list now for the offense for the Chiefs. And then on the Bucks, you have Brady. You have that O-line, which is amazing. You have Jensen on the O-line. Kappa, I don't think he's out actually. And Marpet. You have Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette. You have Evans, Godwin, Gronkowski, even Cameron Brayden, even Antonio Brown in there. That's a really underrated offense right there.
Mhm.
And
Eddie, this is something that people don't talk about enough. I like seeing how Tom Brady is doing this without Bill.
Yep.
But let's also be real. Is Chris Godwin not arguably a top 15 wide receiver in the NFL? Is Mike Evans not arguably, maybe 1 or 2 years ago, a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL? Was Antonio Brown not the best wide receiver in the NFL a couple years ago before he went off the rails? So, let's not act like Tom Brady took the island of misfit toys to the Super Bowl here.
No, I'm not saying that at all. Especially, I feel like Tom Brady has a big part in it because one, he's not Jameis Winston. And
this is the same, except for Brown, the same receiving core as last year.
Yep. And then you have Brady. You have the influence of Brady coming to Tampa Bay, which means that, hey, Gronkowski's here now. What if Gronk wasn't there? O.J. Howard's hurt, so you would just have Cameron Brayton there. You have a lot of players who could sign there. Then you have the draft this year. I believe they picked 12th. They had
Wirfs.
Wills, or whatever his name was.
Tristan Wirfs,
yeah, him. And that improves the offensive line tremendously. He had an outstanding rookie season. And then on the defense, you have Devin White, who has blossomed and matured. You have the veteran presence of Levante David, Jason Pierre-Paul. I know you guys probably miss him right now. Dominic Sue. You have Sean Murphy-Bunting. I mean, he had a controversial interception in the championship round, but he's been playing lights out. Antoine Winfield, who was out the championship round, but he has been playing amazing this year.
Love him.
Amazing.
I want him to be a Giant, but I want him
to be a Giant so bad.
So bad.
I think he's just going to be one of the best safeties next few years if he continues at this rate. You have all these guys, and you look, and it's like this is arguably the Golden State Warriors, Brooklyn Nets type team and they're still being underrated because you look at Mahomes and they're like, this is insane what Mahomes is doing, but it's the mainstream media that's like, oh my God, Mahomes is doing no look passes and here's Tom Brady again, and I feel like that's the big thing because I've seen this Instagram post a lot, and it's videos of Matthew Stafford throwing balls, and he's making crazy throws. I don't know if you've seen this, and they're like, if Mahomes did this, ESPN would go nuts over this.
You know what's funny? Throughout the season, this season entirely, I've been seeing that same exact thing you were talking about. Yep. Matt Stafford, like almost every week, somebody would show a Matt Stafford throw, and it got no traction. But if it was Patrick Mahomes, it would just be on everywhere.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Is Pat Mahomes in State Farm commercials? Is Matt Stafford in State Farm commercials? Is Matt Stafford
also, Justin? Winning fixes a lot of things.
Yeah, correct. But also
look at the teams. Look at the teams that he was getting.
Look at Eli. He puts that stuff on everything.
But also, Mahomes is also the face of Oakley. So Mahomes is a marketable guy. And, if Matt Stafford did go out and win a Super Bowl, if he won an MVP, if he won a Super Bowl MVP, and if he did it, won it all under the age of 25, yes, Matt Stafford, we would put some makeup on you. We make you look a little bit better, and we would shave that beard up, and you would be marketable. But Mahomes is just such a marketable, good-looking young guy. And
not his family, though, which, by the way, Justin, since you
his family
really subbed up to me, bro, check out my last skit last week about Mahomes and his family. Jesus.
Did you do a Jackson Mahomes TikTok dance? Is that the skit that you did?
No, I would never subject myself to that, but Jackson Mahomes wasn't.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and I just think that you have that marketing, and that also goes into, with Jacksonville, where they were always begging for Trevor to come to New York, the big city, and they're like, oh, he's not going to be able to play in a small market like Jacksonville. Just look at Mahomes. Kansas City was a small market team, and now it's one of the best teams that everyone knows about right now. It skyrocketed because of him and Hill and all those other guys. And I also wanted to bring up with the Giants, what do you guys think about either Pitts or Waddle or somebody like a Surtain, like if you had to pick between those three? Because I'm doing mock drafts right now, and I'm pretty tied up between those three for them right now.
Waddle. Out of the three that you just listed, it's going to be Waddle for me.
Yeah,
I thought you were going to say Pitts.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking if Pitts is available, that's the thing. You don't know with Pitts. I feel like Pitts could drop because of the tight end, but he's so versatile between him being a tight end. They're saying he could be a wide receiver as well. That's why teams are highly looking at him as well. Also with Surtain, it's just you have him or I believe Caleb Farley. Those are the two top corners of the draft this year, where you don't know if they could go one way or the other. And that's tough because I think they do need to fill that hole where DeAndre Baker was, that they still need to fill a little bit. They need to fill, I believe just the receivers. They need to get just one more receiver, maybe two.
Yeah, like my top needs 1 and 2, like ranked, the most needed, and the second most needed would be number 1 wide receiver and then number 2 corner for me.
Definitely. Yeah, and that's why I was considering Pitts because that versatility, and then if Evan Ingram either gets hurt or something bad, they could just put him right there on the tight end position. So that's why I think Kyle Pitts is such a good prospect right now. I wish he would drop to us, but that's not going to happen. But I think that'll be very good for him. I think Daniel Jones, give him one more year. I feel like some people are quitting on him right now. Listen, and I would
heard it here, guys, from an unbiased non-Giant.
I think you look at the year, and I say this year because of coronavirus, everything that happened. Everyone I feel was off. That was not an established team already. Teams with new players, teams who are rebuilding. Just look at the Jets. Some people have the Jets winning way more than 2 games this year, not 3, but
winning 2 games this year.
And I knew this year would be very weird. Some teams that you may not expect to be in it. I ultimately I knew it would be either Buffalo, Green Bay, Tampa Bay, or Kansas City, but there would be new teams in there. Nobody thought Washington would make it, but the Giants were lucky to even be in the position to be in a Week 17 game, looking at the Eagles football team game and go, we could still make the playoffs. And I feel like as an unbiased person, I would want to lose that Week 17 game as much as I would want to be in the playoffs, because you're playing Tom Brady the next week. You're not going to – you probably have a 99.9% chance of not winning that game. That 0.1 is, they had that close game in that Monday night game of halfway through the season. That was tough. I watched
You're
that.
breaking my heart.
Eddie, that is the exact reason why I wanted to make the playoffs. I wanted another crack at Brady.
Listen, you do. At the same time, it's you have a very high chance of losing. So would you rather have a high pick in the draft and rebuild for the next year? Because it's not looking like if this happens again with the NFC lease, which I highly doubt, you have that one X factor player left that you need who can get you over that hump to the next level. And I just feel like all the Giants fans were upset. I get it, but you look at the future and you look at the consequences that could have came from being in the playoffs. You look at Washington now. They have, I believe, like a 18, 19, or 20th pick in the draft now, and they ended up losing the first the playoff, which ultimately 9 times out of 10 you're losing. So
here's what I'll say about that, Eddie.
Yep.
Washington is in a worse spot than the Giants because they desperately need a quarterback.
Definitely.
That's the main thing. The Giants are not looking to draft a quarterback. So to just get in a playoff game for a first-year head coach, where Ron Rivera has been to a Super Bowl before. So the team is young. You would love Chase Young to get the playoff experience. The coaching staff that they have is very experienced. But for such a young coaching staff, where the majority of them, Graham is relatively young, a lot of the coaching staff that the Giants have, they're coming up from the college ranks. But even just a first-year head coach in Joe Judge with a very, very young team, playing in a playoff game, I feel like that would have had a lot of value. I mean, even look at, what Eli Manning, I know you're not a Giants fan, but look at what Eli Manning did before he went on his 07 Super Bowl runs. It was 2 first-round exits in 05 and 06 before you went on that 07 playoff run.
It was, listen, growing up in Jersey, you're kind of forced to watch the Giants. You're kind of forced to watch the Jets just to make small talk because, not everybody is going to be Jaguar fans. And especially now that you're in social media right now, there's group chats where you could talk about the Jaguars. Back then, I couldn't because nobody would watch. Everyone would watch the Giants. So I was sort of forced into, watching Giants games, when I was younger. So, of course, I'm going to know some things about them, and like I said, there's going to be – it's like Kansas City the year they lost to Brady. You knew they were going to be there. They just needed some tweaking. Same thing with Eli with the Giants. They needed some tweaking.
Right.
And they needed that chemistry with, especially with Tom Coughlin, that 07 run. And I just think that when you have this as a learning experience to say, hey, we are so close. We wanted to be in the playoffs. Unfortunately, we didn't. You look at a game like the Cowboy game where Dak got hurt. That was a winnable game. You look at that and you go, if we would have won that, that's playoffs. So we use that as a learning experience to become better the next season. We fill those holes that we need to fill. And next year, when there's going to be hopefully fans in the stadium, we want to do that for the fans in the stadium in that situation. Because like I said, I'm not trying to say COVID was the biggest excuse in the world for all this going on this year with a lot of the teams, but it did have some part in it. And once everything gets back on track, I think the Giants will probably be top contender, playoff team, definitely.
I completely agree with you here, Eddie. You spoke nothing but facts, and I know every fan in the chat also agrees with you, bro. It's glad to see people outside of this particular franchise agreeing with it as well, man. But I definitely got to end soon, so I want to end off with a question about your Jaguars, man. Who do you guys? Who do you want to see you guys take in with your second first-round pick?
I was looking around at that Trayvon Moore rig. I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Safety.
Yeah, that safety from TCU. I really like him. Or we could get an offensive lineman. We can get or even just a.
What do you think about getting a second linebacker?
Yeah, I was just about to say linebacker as well. I feel like the left outside linebacker role is very much an open, but if we move from the 4-3 defense to the 3-4, I believe Kayvon Chason will be moved to that linebacker position.
Okay.
And he will be way better than he was his rookie year. He was playing a position, I believe he was playing on the line, the right end position. He was not familiar with. He was just not as good. And it's especially as a rookie playing in the NFL and playing a position you don't know. That's why a lot of players who are quarterbacks who try to make a transition to wide receiver, especially as a rookie, they don't make that transition right away. They wait if they have to transition the right way. Look at Terrell Pryor, who was a quarterback, but then he transitioned to a wide receiver. Then he gets to Cleveland. He does a great job there. So when you're someone like Kayvon Chason, who's playing a totally different role where you're playing on the line, you're having to go against these 350-pound linemen, it's going to be tough for you. And he did get better towards the stretch of the season. So that's why the linebacker is the third priority on my list for when it comes to the defensive side of the ball or just the overall draft.
Mm-hmm.
I also would like to get a new tight end. I feel like Eifert is slowly declining right now. O'Shaughnessy is average, below average. I would like to see, though, if we do not resign Westbrook, Cole, or Conley, we could get a younger receiver. And I'm actually liking Amari Rodgers late towards like a late round pick. So you could get that Trevor Lawrence, Amari Rodgers chemistry going in there again.
Yeah. Justin did mention Amari.
Mm-hmm. And he looked amazing during the Senior Bowl. I don't know if any of you watched the Senior Bowl. He looked amazing. He was running his routes amazing. So I'm not saying the first round pick, but I'm looking towards the back end of things. There's so much depth when it comes to all these quarterbacks, receivers this year, and definitely the second first rounder, definitely Trayvon. I think he'll be an amazing safety. Daniel Thomas is all right, but he's just not the guy for us right now.
because I in my mock draft that I had out today, the first round one, the first NFL one that I did, I gave you guys Zaven Collins, linebacker. I think he's out of Tulsa.
Yeah.
I'd like to know your thoughts on that, but let me get KB and Justin if you guys have any ideas as what you guys would like to see the Jaguars take with their, I think it's 24th. I think
it was 24th or 25th or something like that.
KB, go for it.
One guy I've been really targeting, and that's because I'm living in Florida, so I got a lot of Gators fans. One of my close coworkers to me is a huge Gators fan, and so I've been paying attention a lot to Kadarius Toney. And if you guys need, obviously, you said you guys might not be keeping Conley and who else?
Keelan Cole and D.D. Westbrook.
D.D. Westbrook and Keelan Cole, aren't those both slot guys? Right? You could plug Kadarius Toney right in there. He stays in state, right? And so he'll be a nice slot option for you. So I like Kadarius Toney.
That's if he makes it there. In my mock, I have him going to the Colts just like 3 picks before the Jags there.
Yeah. I like Kadarius Toney to Jacksonville.
Yeah, I like him. And if we had to pick between Trayvon or Toney, I would pick Trayvon just because that safety position needs to be filled, and we still have Chark and Laviska for now, and we could always sign a free agent later on. But definitely, he would be my second option, Toney. I think he's very underrated, very fast, makes great catches. We need that slot receiver, definitely. Like Westbrook. Like I said, Westbrook is good. He's fallen off a little bit. He's I believe he tore his ACL or something like that against the Chargers, and it was very tough to see that. But if you have that slot guy in there, like a Toney, who may even praying he drops second round, we could get him at 33 or we could get him at 35. I don't think he'll do that, but it is possible.
I have a slot guy.
But especially with all the other teams that need other players rather than a receiver,
I have a slot guy for you. I looked at him back in June. Rondale Moore.
I knew. I just said it more. I knew. Yeah. He's a good option too, man. I'm starting to like that guy a lot.
Before we extend into Rondale Moore, let me get Tudo here. Shout out to Tudo for the $5 super chat. Thank you, my man. He says, "Ciao, my Giants Pasanos, Hub, Justin, and KB. Ciao, Tudo." He watches all the way from Italy, guys. I always appreciate it.
I was about to say he's from Italy. He's he's really awesome. Supports everybody on YouTube. So Tudo's awesome.
And Rondale Moore. I think I had in that draft as well. I think I had him. It was in the 20s.
Shooting up the charts, man. I'm starting to feel bad that when we did that live mock draft that we totally left Rondale Moore out.
I had him in the 20s in the one I had out today, but I unfortunately don't have time to go over it today, guys. Thank you so much to Eddie, the Jacksonville Jaguars fan, for calling in. Eddie, any last thoughts before I get you out here and then I end the stream, man?
Yep. Just thank you guys for having me on here. I will be rooting for you guys, the Giants, and Duval all day, Much love.
Good luck in the draft, man. Good luck in the draft.
I appreciate it.
No problem, Eddie. See you, man.
Bye-bye.
Thank you to Eddie for popping in. Thank you for everybody for popping in. Shout out to Justin once again, guys. Go over there, check out Talking Giants if you have not. Of course, y'all already know KB. Justin, any last thoughts, man?
Any last thoughts? It's been fun. Thank you for allowing me to hijack the call-in tonight. I kind of saw that you were live. I'm off from work tomorrow, which is fun because of all the snow stuff that's been happening. So high on some energy. Glad we get to talk some Giants, talk some draft. You got me thinking. We got some names thrown out there tonight. You have a very, very educated. I have to say, I'm a little jealous. Talking Giants. Feel like we have a lot of older fans, excuse me, who follow our show, but not as educated. No offense to anybody who's listening right now, but not as educated as your chats and your streams. So credit to you guys. Credit to you, the Hub, and KB. It was nice to meet you over the stream, man.
Yeah, nice to meet you, man. I had a pleasure working with you, man.
Yo, Justin. I mean, I know I speak for both of us when I say I hope we could have you on the Young Guns podcast soon, bro. It's a podcast me and KB run every Wednesday.
Yeah.
If you're available, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Wednesdays, we record Talking Giants. What are we? Monday nights, Thursday nights. So Wednesdays, I'm free. So you let me know when. You DM me on Twitter.
For sure, man. And KB, any last thoughts, bro?
No, it's been awesome. As always, it's a pleasure being on here and interacting with the chat. Although you guys get crazy sometimes, but it was fun, man. It was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and tomorrow, guys, we'll be on KB's channel for Young Guns. Tune in there. Shout out to everybody. That's it for now, and we're out.